Hello everyone and welcome to Java Forever course. Today we are starting a new chapter called handling input and output. And specifically in today's class we will talk about print command. Now if you are familiar with high level computer architecture, you will know that we have four building blocks of any computer system. We have what we call it input. This input is taken by processor and we apply some processing statements or code, we write it, right? And this processing gives you some output. That output could be your computer screen on which we display some message. And then in turn, behind the scene, the processor also works with memory. And we talked about it. Anytime you declare a variable in your code, that gets allocated into the memory. When you do arithmetic operations like a plus b, that's done by processor itself, and then final value again goes back to memory. So processor regularly writes or reads from the memory, and finally when the processing done, an output is printed. The reason I'm saying this, and in today's class or this chapter we will specifically focus on these two parts, specifically the input and output. How to take input, how to give input to a program, and how to print the output back on the screen. Now output can be anything, but in this course we are going to focus primarily on outputting it on the computer monitor and taking the input from keyboard. Now let's look into that part. The first we will look into the output piece. Now the code on the screen, what you see here right now, we have declared a variable called message equal to hello world. What will really happen behind the scene is a room is created. If you go back to my hotel example, and a room number is called message, right? The name of the variable, and inside you will have hello world. Now when processor comes to the second screen, it tries to find the variable message, and it goes to the memory and asks, and memory returns hello world. And then this command system.out.print will actually print the value returned by memory of the variable message. That is how any Java program works. I don't have to really declare a variable and then use that variable here in the next program, in the next line. I can simply write system.out.print line, and I can simply say hello world. Both are perfectly fine. I usually prefer to declare a variable so that in case I find when I can reuse this variable, suppose I want to print this message multiple places, hello world, then I would use simply the variable name and system will automatically print the value of that variable. Now the key part here is that, in this case, let's look into, we have a class called hello. Inside that we have a entry point. We have already seen that. But the key again here is system.out.print. This is the command that Java provides to us. Anytime we want to show some output back on the screen. And in this case, the output we want to show is this string, a set of characters called hello world. That is how, and we will look into it in detail later of what is system.out.print. But remember, as of now, again, being case sensitive is capital S, system.out.print is the command that we will use anytime we want to generate our output. Suppose we declare a variable, we calculate the value in our processing, and finally we want to show the message to the user, hey, this is your output. We use system.out.print. There are several variations to it. You can also see that we are in this case, in this case we are declaring a variable called a decimal value, y equal to 5 divided by 3, and it's a floating number, it's a fraction. And when we can also, when we print it, we want to format the output. We want to say, hey, print this string precision formatting up to 4 decimal places, and you can pass something called %.4f, that's and then \n. And we'll talk more about \n later. But Java gives you that print command has a variation, the system.printf. Rather than print, you just see printf, and this is meant for formatted printing. And this formatted printing will print the value of y with 4 precision, 4 decimal places after the 4 decimal places of the value. Okay, so that's all in today's class. In the next class, we'll talk a little bit more about input, different type of formatting options, and all that. See you again in the next class. Bye-bye.